Well, welcome everyone. Second day of the U.S. Open 10-ball championships. This is a winner's side match. We are at Griff's Billiards in Las Vegas, Nevada. We have Jeffrey DeLuna and Dennis Orcollo. Dennis winning the lag, excuse me, and will be breaking first. This is a race to 9. Alternate break format, CSI rules, 2-3 on the corners. 10-ball on the break does not count. Early combos will win you the game. All ball fouls. We are on a 9-foot diamond table with Simonis cloth. Our sponsors: CueSports International, Cyclop Balls, Discount Custom Apparel, Griff's Billiards, JB Cases, Kamui Predator, and Simonis Cloth. This is the 4th round winners match. Dennis has defeated Jimmy Henry, John Mora, and Kevin Chang to get where he's at. His opponent, Jeffrey DeLuna, has defeated Brandon Schuff, Ruslan Chernohov, and Danny Olson to get where he's at. Race to 9. The finals will be a race to 11. This match will put one of these players into the hot seat match. This is George Teachea, soon to be joined by Jeremy Jones. And we're off and running with the break on. And look at the 1 here. Dennis breaking the balls. Taking a look at their Fargo rates. Dennis is an 817 to Jeffrey's 798. Might as well throw Fargo out the table. These are 2 of the best rotation players in the world. There's a few of them, and these will rank with just about any of them. This will be the last match of the evening. We'll get started tomorrow for the 3rd and final day of the U.S. Open 10-ball championships. Tomorrow at noon, I believe. And then starting Sunday, we'll have the U.S. Open 8-ball championships. Payouts for the event are $10,000 for first place, $6,500 for second, $3,800 for third, $2,000 for fourth, $1,000 fifth, sixth, and seventh, eighth, $600. There are some payouts below that, but we didn't report those. We'll get them for you later. Dennis off to a pretty good start here. He's got to come down here for this 5-ball. Probably just stay there and take a little distance on this shot instead of coming all the way back. There we go. Come up for the 6 a little bit here for the side. I'm not sure if he will. Try to hold it there for the 6 on the side. I don't believe it goes by the 9 to the corner, so he's left himself just the right angle to go up for the 8. Makes quick work of this break and run with these 2 balls to follow. And in a race to 9, he gets the first opening game.
2 gentlemen that aren't
strangers to each other.
That's right.
Welcome, Jeremy.
Thanks, George. Kind of my, besides the Americans, I'll say it again, that's kind of my pick, I think, from the beginning. He looks hungry, Dennis does.
And his wins have proved it. Let's take a look at his wins here. We talked about this earlier, and we talked about how he looks hungry. Well, he won 9-4 over Jimmy Henry. Started out with a bye, then won 9-4 over Jimmy Henry. 9-5 over John Mora. 9-3 over Kevin Chang. Those are some good wins. Those, I mean, especially the Chang. Late there. Jeffrey, on the other hand, how'd he come? He started with a bye. 9-7 over Brandon Schaff. 9-7 over Ruslan Chinahov. And 9-3 over Danny Olson. Both of them showing a little more easier match, you might say, towards the end. But
Yeah.
catching the gear, basically, to get to where they're at now. Winner here goes into the hot seat match tomorrow. And we'll face Marco Tucher.
Okay, hit him well. Got the 4-railer. He's got an offensive play on a bank that may go by the 7 or play a bank combination. It's kind of a funny shot playing these types of rules. Regular rules, you bank at this and knowing that most likely one of them is going to go in. But here he could bank it cross side as well. Cut back bank.
Cue ball 3 rails for position. For the 2 ball, can he hold it?
Yeah, I think
tight.
so. I mean,
Yeah.
funny thing is with the 6 being there, it's not so easy to chip the cue ball and run it safe, maybe behind the 9 or something like that. So now it makes it to where, again, if we were playing non-call shot rules, you'd bank the one at this 7, and knowing that you're going to probably make one of them.
One or the other.
Yeah.
You double kisses a 7 in.
Right, or slide the
Or
one
slide
slides
the-
by,
exactly.
or a number of ways.
Well, if he chooses to bank it in the side, he can't play safe for the deuce, either for the corner on the left or the side by the 8.
Okay, is he just he's trying to chip this safe, it looks like, and run the cue ball. That was the problem. Not only the 6 being in the way, but with the 6 being in the way, it made the path go towards the 2.
Now, Dennis's options here are to bring the cue ball behind the deuce. Might he consider playing the 7 ball with the cue ball?
Maybe.
Is that pretty crazy?
It's a little bit up. If it was just a hair more down towards the pocket, I'd say that's the shot, because you can chip this 1 and run it safe, and if you don't bury the cue ball, you're offering a pretty good jump combination
jump
on the
combo
1-7.
or a kick shot for it, because
Right.
they're going to hang out together there, and
That's why you might see him play something different as far as the safety. I'm not sure what that may be at the moment. But he's just going to go for the real accurate hit, trying to go 3 rails behind the 9, catching the 4th rail, probably kill him behind the 9.
and he's come a little long. He's come right into the pocket.
Oh, is it going to corner hook him? It
did.
did.
Wow.
So you
Wow.
we can forget about that jump or kick we were talking about at that combo. And really a tough hit, just period.
It's a real tough hit, but the one thing about this is the 2
kicked-
ball's not really available after the 1.
Yeah, I think I kicked by the 5 maybe with a lot of spin. 2 rails below the 6. He has to draw the heck out of this just to have any chance to dig into the 1 a couple rails, and slowly too. Oh, he got into it a
He
lot.
hit it nice. Well, the 5 ball doesn't look like it allows the 1 ball to go by.
Well,
It
he'll
might.
He'll shoot the combo probably, and that combo may offer to where he can get the 1 to where he may be able to get the short side on the 2 somehow, or break out the 2, maybe bump the 4 or something like that. I'll tell you one thing Dennis isn't afraid of, though, setting up for this cross corner bank on the 2 also. That wouldn't bother him.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
He's going to be okay as far as hitting the ball. And actually can get to the right side of the 1 to put the cue ball behind the 9 if he chooses. Or thin it and go up by the 7. Forcing the cue ball over to the right by the 9 ball. The 1 ball over by the 9 ball. Here's Dennis with the bridge. Is he going to slide off? Which way does he go? Right or left?
Well, if he definitely has enough room, he'd like to go behind the 2 with the cue ball.
Okay.
I mean, it's a little more secure and it's less movement with the cue ball.
We have 2 other matches going on at the same time. Danny Olson and Skylar Woodward.
Oh, he went behind the 9.
Yeah.
It's almost leaked out. May have leaked out a piece of it.
Going for the jump cue. Well, Danny Olson does lead Skylar Woodward 5-4. Shane Van Boning leads Corey Duell 4-1. Both of those are on the 1-loss side. This is the last 2 of 3 players left on the winner's side. Marco Tucher is waiting for the winner of these 2 gentlemen.
I wonder if he's called this cross side, probably.
I would think so. There's room to go by the 8, so.
Maybe trying to, maybe called the 7 cross corner and just trying to bring the cue ball back for a safety. 7 still hangs up in the upper right. Can't see it now, but yeah, that's what he was going for. I think was that bank combination
on the 7 ball. It looked like if he clipped the 1 ball, it might bank across to the side, but guess not. And now even though the 7's out a little bit, he'll probably be playing the 1-7 combo.
Run the cue ball kind of towards the 6. Okay.
Oh, he overcut it. Big break for Jeffrey here. Able to get his back to the table and maybe control his break.
Yeah, and if he can keep the 1 around the pocket, that usually offers to where you can cheat the pocket, move the cue ball how you want. So getting back on the 2 might be a little easier. He put a lot of speed on that. I don't think he was trying to break anything out. I just kind of wonder, maybe he was worried about making them both and trying to go up table to get something on the 2. Otherwise, you don't want to let the 1 get away from you.
No, he hit that
with
pretty
that
hard.
speed.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought he would shoot it softer than that.
Okay, he's looking at a 3-rail angle to come right at the 2 and 4 from underneath.
He doesn't like shooting real soft, though.
Well, he's got a lot of power.
Yeah.
So this is a little high with a touch of left. He'll go past the 6, catching that side rail, then the bottom cushion, and then right back up at the 2 and the 4, I believe, anyways. Now he's trying it right-handed, and I don't think he's going to do that.
So he doesn't want to reach over the 4 ball left-handed?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the issue is, really. He's lefty. You would
Yeah,
think that would be a good way.
Sure.
Might go around these.
So they catch it just right and end up with a shot off the 8 on the side?
I think by the 8 in the upper left-hand corner, I think the top right of your screen. Maybe it doesn't go by the 8 as well.
It looks like it. Well,
don't think he would pass that shot. Maybe he would. Maybe he would just knock it past and play the safety behind the 8. Like that. Nothing wrong with that.
It's a nice safety.
Dennis is going to kick long rail. And the reason why you kick a long rail like this is you're kicking towards congestion, meaning you're bringing the cue ball and the 2 towards other balls. And it's still, you don't have to kick hard to get some nice movement either. Just a nice medium roll, top English speed.
Yeah, if he thins the deuce on the upper side, the cue ball can go past the 10, and two ball can go over here by the 4. And
if he hits it full, the cue ball's still coming downward. That's the good thing. It doesn't matter how you're hitting it. The cue ball's going towards the 4 and the 8 and the 10 and all those. There's no way to keep it from happening. And you just got a lot of good things that can happen as far as keeping your opponent off of a run out. Now, as far as a stretch, he thought the last one was a stretch. This is going to really be a stretch here.
I don't think I've seen DeLuna play with a carbon fiber.
No?
No.
He's been playing with it for a little bit.
Well, if he was ready to shoot the last shot he shot right-handed, I don't see why he just doesn't step up and shoot this one right-handed.
Yeah. It's a matter of what he's capable of doing.
He does.
Righty. Well, it looks like he's edging it. Like maybe thinking of cutting this in. Taking a lot of time here.
And decided to just use the bridge.
Oh, he hadn't decided anything yet, I don't think. I think it's going to be a few more minutes before a decision is made.
Now, both these players usually play at a pretty quick pace, so it shouldn't be a real long match, I don't think.
Is he just trying to nestle up on the 2 lightly?
Just trying to get behind the 9 here.
Yeah, he doesn't need a bad kiss, and he got one.
He got one.
Well, we'll get to see some of Dennis's straight shooting tough shot here. Probably just bounce one rail out for a little angle on the 4 anyways. So you don't try to go Mach 5 here. Just take what the angle gives you. If you get the cue ball back to where the 2's at now, that's great. You don't need much more than that. Yeah, exactly. He got a little more out of it, but yeah, that's Dennis Orcollo.
Yeah, took a full stroke at that and hit it just perfect. Over.
First looked at Dennis. I actually played him 2 years in a row in the round robin stages of the World Championships some time ago around, I think the first time was 2003, maybe 2004, but I think 2003, and then later on in 2005 or 6. When I first played him, and I was fortunate enough to win both those matches, but watching him play, I'm like, where did this guy come from? You know, it's kind of a name I hadn't heard at all at the time. And someone had said he's a fisherman, and well, I didn't know that was his nickname, but like, well, this is the fisherman that's playing like this? I hate to see the boat captain if this is the fisherman here.
Yeah, he's quite the player. I mean, he's established himself here. Nickname is RoboCop. We've heard that because he plays like a machine.
Yeah, really one of the
top
special talents.
Players, top money player, top anything player. When you talk about the elite of the elite, this is one of the gentlemen that comes to mind immediately. La creme de la creme. (2-0). And let's see if his break is as devastating as his last one. Broke him good. Open shot on the 1.
Probably didn't kill him either.
No, he didn't. He doesn't.
Just a nice pop, I'm sure.
He did have a it wasn't an easy shot on the. It's 6-1 Shane. Over Corey. And then Skyler and Danny Olson are 6-5. Olson.
Oh, hit him a
And
little
lost the cue
off.
ball. And DeLuna's happy for this break. He's coming to the table with ball in hand, and the 5 ball's a little.
Yeah,
Little,
definitely a little
tight on the 8 there. So he's going to have a little work to do, especially where the 4 ball is.
Yeah, the 6 and the 9. I mean, it's very playable,
Yep.
but I mean that's
Again,
also some concern.
Sure. That 6 ball, it goes into the rail off the 9. It should go in the pocket, right? It looks
Yeah,
like
or
it
the
does,
combo's
yeah.
pretty
The combo's
playable, or the
pretty playable,
carom shot. You'll cross the 6 over, and the 1-3 will be gone by that time. So kind of cross corner the 6 and make the 9 and have the 6 laid up.
I think his first concern is to do something with that 5 ball.
Yeah, and there's that nice 3 rail safety that's pretty easy to get on, position on. Is he looking at it? He's trying to 3 foul him right here, and that's not the worst thing if he can put the 1 over near the 6 and 9. But I think I would still rather clear and play the safety on the 5. I think, and if not, I would probably bury him underneath the 3 with ball in hand, knock the 1 up table by the 8 and the 5, and draw up underneath the 3 maybe or something like that.
I don't know that. You're trying to 3 foul one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But at the same time, you see a safety coming in the future is the mainly like what your argument for trying this is. Now,
yes,
I'm not sure that's going to get it because he's going to kick at something.
This is tight. The 4 ball blocks the natural angle. The going. Wow, the 7 ball takes that away.
Can he kick 3 rails? I think 3 rails is pretty playable.
Yeah, you can. You can come in. You can come in short to the middle diamond, just by the 1 ball there, between the diamond right above the 1 and the 1 to the left, and hit it.
Well, he needs to hit this one because the next foul you can see he'll just push the 1 underneath the 9 there and place the cue ball on the 6. A lot of people would knock the ball away, and you could do that and put the cue ball behind the 6 and the 1 down by the 10, but it's actually easier kick shot or a more possible kick shot, you might say. Oh, he's looking for a masse here.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't, I don't think he sees the 3 rail kick is the problem. 3 rail kick, you can even hit before the side and spin it with the left English and get by the 10 and still come at the 1, 3 rails. Wow, what a hit. He hit the 1 first.
Yeah, well, that takes him off the foul, but he's going to be behind the 6 ball probably.
Right.
DeLuna and Orcollo. I don't think I've seen these 2 match up before. Sure, it's happened.
Oh, yeah. Go 1 rail at this. The 4's got the 2 railer cut off. Dennis will hit this 8 out of 10 usually, somewhere like that. Wow.
Oh.
Jinxed him.
Yeah, jinxed him. Well, he pocketed the 10 ball. He just forgot to hit the 1 ball first. And Jeffrey got what he was after, ball in hand. Now he still has to contend with the 5 ball.
Yeah. Things are a little better now, though. The 6 is open, so if he wants to get on that thin cut on the 5, position on the 6 is not hard. And there's a lot of room for error on the 6, meaning the 9's there, right? So if you need to hit the 6 with a little authority to get back to the 7, you have a pretty big pocket with the 9 being there. So
good point.
If you wanted to try and get that position on that thin cut on the 5, there's nothing wrong with that, because if you don't like it, you just knock it away 3 rails and plant it behind the 8. So I like Jeffrey trying to be aggressive here and clear the table.
Oh, definitely. I don't like letting Dennis up to the table if I can help it.
Right.
Man's dangerous. This will be interesting to see how. Oh,
now that chance I wouldn't have ever taken myself. There's just too many things, and being elevated on the 4 was one of them. Not necessarily on the 7, but easily he could have got elevated on the 5 or the 8.
Now things just got complicated here.
Now, yeah, it become very missable, right?
It opened everything up, but now he doesn't have to really make this being elevated.
Well, you hit it great. And here's where that big pocket on the 6 may really help, because he couldn't really try to produce the best position on the 5, seeing where he was on the 4.
Just draws this off the 8.
Yeah, get off the rail. Might as well get off the rail, because you need to come back for the 7. You can see it covered up pretty good by the 10.
You know, it's kind of funny, but you sit there and you look at him coming off the 8 and you say, well, what about the side pocket? It's a real small one, but how many times do you find that real small side pocket?
Oh, it happens. But
yeah.
It has to be hit so perfectly, because it'll have the English on the cue ball to where it won't want to go in. Now that was interesting. And I'm
he's going to get too, well.
He can cheat it, but still, though, where's the 9 going now? Because if you cheat it, you're hitting the 9 much heavier and harder. So now the 9's going to get banged around a little bit. If you stayed thinner on the 6 to move the cue ball, you're probably hitting it lighter, and therefore the 9 may not get in the way. You don't figure the 9, but I'll tell you what, if he cheats the pocket here, the 9's going to be banking back towards that 10 and 7.
And the cue ball's going to stay on that side. He's trying to come to the other side.
He didn't even cheat it. Wow, what a stroke. Guy's got a stroke now.
Drew it back, drew about 13 feet.
Somewhere around there, yeah. Nothing to it.
Isn't that why players play with that carbon fiber shaft?
Yeah, I see him draw it 13 feet all the time, George.
I was just trying to sell some cues.
There you go.
Yeah, this is big for Jeffrey here. He gets a game back off of Dennis's break.
And we had a couple wander into the arena area. And
escorted away. And he'll just fall softly on this 10 ball. Kind of like that.
And
Jeffrey gets on the board.
Yeah, and he's going to be breaking off in game 4 to try and even this match. This is our second Final Four of the winner side match, with Marco Tutcher advancing past Thorsten Holman in a close one. Now Jeffrey DeLuna trails 2-1 against Dennis Orcollo. Whoever wins or loses will be back tomorrow. And talked about earlier, a huge match, though, to get into that hot seat match.
We're looking at $10,000 for first place, $6,500 for second, $38,000 for third, and $2,000 for fourth place. In addition to those monies, There's $5,000 available for the all-around. 3,500 for the first highest point player.
Yeah, plus an invitation.
Plus the invitation
to the Predator World 10 Bowl this coming March.
Don't forget, change your calendars, because that's going to be in March this year. And then 1,500 to the second place all-around player for the 8-ball and 10-ball U.S. Opens. Big break by Jeffrey here. Things going. Stopped it in the middle of the table. Is he going to get bumped? Lightly.
Or he made that 4-railer, and really the one's in the almost the identical place it was in last time he broke. And it was only the 4-railer he made last time as well. And I believe he had a bank on a 1-7 combination it was last time that he decided to play safe on instead, and now another bank on the 1 that he'll probably try to attack and take a little bit of a shot on the 2. You could play safe here, but most great 9-ball players will attack with this type of cross corner. Oh, now he's playing safe. Okay. Going to get him
Two
up
rails
behind
the
8. Yeah. You must not want to settle for that distance on the 2, because the bank's sitting pretty nice. I know he is elevated, but that looks pretty perfect on the speed, I think.
And it is. Almost. It threatened to leak out, but nope.
Now, Dennis will kick three rails behind it, I guess.
It's a big ball that way. It's a big ball, 2 rails, too.
Yeah, and if he could reach the 2-railer, I think he may kick the 2 rails at it, but this one here, he can reach a little easier, and it's fairly equal on which one could come away safer, you know, percentage-wise. The main thing is the hit. With all these balls grouped around the center, there's a lot of ways to snooker his opponent, so contact on the 1 first and foremost.
Yeah, he indicated where he wanted to be for the 3rd rail.
2 kick shots he's missed in that short 3 games.
And everything here looks pretty open once he gets past this 2-4.
Yeah.
2 to the 4.
May have to
and
shoot the
that,
5, from a little distance, but that's not a problem.
Thing is, he can get perfect on this 2 ball since he's got ball in hand here to come down for the 2.
Oh, he missed ball in hand, so that's going to slow him down a bit.
Wow.
Now, I was just going to comment, and not saying it should ever affect you on that one, but could have rolled the one in the other corner and rolled into position, which I always like. He could have rolled it to the side, actually, and rolled into position, but I tend to always want to roll into position when I can. And not so much for the miss sake, but usually your speed on the cue ball is going to be a little better. But talk about something that could change a match.
Missing with ball in hand?
Yeah.
Well, usually missing changes matches. But with ball in hand, it changes your confidence.
Yeah.
Although at this point, you know, Jeffrey's confidence is pretty unshakable. You would think it's unshakable.
Right.
Do that a couple times,
Well,
you might question yourself.
Now he's looking at running the cue ball because he doesn't feel like he can draw past
the
above the 5, and I think he can. Now maybe he's more worried about the 6, meaning drawing 1 rail and getting behind the 6 probably. So he's coming down for a combination on the 4-8, I believe.
And you believed correctly, because he's got this 4-8 combo. I don't see him running it past the 8 for the corner.
He may have to ease this a little, though, and go forward with the cue ball. I'm not sure. And if he has to do that, the 9's a concern.
It looks like he probably just stopped the cue ball and the 4 ball floats down.
Okay, still not out of the woods. Do you draw into the 7 and take the shot? Or do you move the cue ball? Because moving the cue ball now, you could get a...
You get a little funny.
Hell, heck yeah, it could get a little funny. Especially because you're going to want to add right English. So, and to go by the 6, the 7, you could threaten coming 2 rails behind the 6 with the cue ball is what I'd be worried about. So I really would like to go into this 7 lightly and nice and full, and I don't mind the shot on the 5. Like that, yeah, just remind yourself of how
Higher
good you are, Dennis Orcollo.
Sure.
You know, if
Yeah.
he keeps the run going about 99% of the time, he's going to come out smelling pretty sweet.
Because this doesn't bother him, really.
Well, he got on the wrong side of Sally here, though. And haphazardly, too, meaning in a bad way. He's going to have to, like, really go above the 10, but not scratching the corner. You know, like stun it above the 10. Meaning go to the far side of the 10 with the cue ball, but still get to the top, to the end rail, meaning the left rail on your screen. I think.
Okay, I see that. He's going above it.
Ooh,
I see.
Yeah, he's going above it.
He's going around it.
He's trying to get to that rail, and that ain't going to happen.
I want to get to the back rail.
Yeah, he's one.
Rail.
Yeah, where the template's at.
Right.
But on the far side of the 10, I don't think he can do it drawing it. I think he's got to stun it.
I think if he draws that to the first diamond from the lower left-hand corner pocket, he comes 2 rails out for the 7.
I don't think he can dig on it that much.
No,
I think. Okay. See, watch. He's going to stun to the left side and still get to the end rail, and then just kind of trickle up a couple rails. See how he did that there?
And
you see?
And forward. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So it was a stun to get by the 10, but then a little bit of right spin to get the ball moving. But a funny shot, not one you shoot very often.
No, exactly. Yeah, I'd have been trying to draw that ball.
Yeah, and I think you would have really had a chance of flirting with hitting the 10.
Sure.
The ball in hand is going to cost Mr. DeLuna 2 games, one he should have had that he's going to give up, and now a 3-1 lead.
And the break.
Yes, sir. Looks like Dennis is going to take a timeout. We'll be right back. 7-7 now.
And we're back. As Dennis leads 3-1 and has the break in this race to 9. Luna kind of looking, and you see Skylar Woodward and Danny Olson in the background there.
Yeah, tied at 7 apiece.
And they're tied at 7 in a race to 9. And they are on the 1 loss, so one of them is going to be settling here for 7th, 8th.
Yeah. Speaking of settling, SVB settled back in after a loss on the winner's side. Very convincing win over Corey Dewitt, 9-1. And now a scratch on the break just a moment ago by Dennis and flying it off the table, which is really something you don't see very often at this level, the best level in the world, top level.
So we've seen a couple things, that fly off the table and then that miss ball in hand by Jeffrey. So both players have given us something to chuckle at, I guess you might say.
Okay, is Jeffrey going to shoot the one on the side? I would bump the 5-3 myself. With ball in hand, it should be pretty easy to hit the 5 in the good side of the face and just wiggle those open just a little bit, right?
Sure.
And then you got the 2 with a nice angle going towards that side of the table, which the 3 will be on. Don't really see much problem with it. Now, I don't really see an easier way to play position on the 3, do you?
No, I like playing the 1 ball to the side pocket and just nudging, just barely hitting the 5 ball. So you're straight in on the 2, and you push the 3 into position for a shot.
Yeah, you only want to move it like 4 or 5 inches, 3 or 4 inches, and
he's lined up for it right there.
And there may be a point there to where he can get position on the 3, but it seems tight to me. So I think this is worth it. Okay, well, maybe he can gain position on the 3 in the middle there and throw it in and just carry into the 5 with the cue ball. Must be something like that he's not too worried about anyways.
Is he going to go
he's hitting a high ball, though.
Because he's going to, okay.
Yeah, if this nicks the 3, this could be really a problem.
It's a problem.
Yeah, and he must have never seen that he could shoot the 1 and open the 5-3 up.
That could be.
And that would have given him a lot of room.
Yeah, sometimes you don't think about those things. You know, when you called it, I hadn't really thought about it either until you pointed it out. But you do look to move the 3 ball there because going from the 2 to the 3 is a tough shot.
Yeah.
It wasn't the way it laid. It's a tough shot. So he's played safety.
Oh.
And we saw a very fine safety in the big match between Torsten Homan and Corey Deuel.
Well, I don't know. He went after the ball. I don't know if he intentionally hooked him or not, but we sure saw a fine kick shot. I know that was called as well.
But what I was going to say is, you know, Corey played that shot, ended up with a real fine safety. It was a tough hit on the 1, and Torsten came up, made it, and got out.
Oh, he's called this cross corner, I believe. Like that.
He's made it.
What a shot. What a shot. And talk about the pool gods remembering that miss and the ball in hand, maybe. It's really the type of thing at this level you don't have to come away with a shot for a little while after making that grave of a mistake.
And again, you know, you had pointed out there was a offensive play to continue the run out by moving that 5-3. But he chose the safety, and sometimes safeties, you know, your opponent, he's not going to play dead. They're there to hurt you, just like you are them. So.
Dennis is just going to shoot this in the corner and stop. That's one thing I like about Dennis. He'll settle instead of moving the cue ball a lot of times. Really doesn't make many bad choices.
You have to like that play right there.
Or suspect choices even. I couldn't call any of them bad.
Ends off to a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, a lot of pressure now applied to Jeffrey DeLuna. Can't really afford not to get on the board here.
You see you see
Sky
Skyler
finally got his first lead, I think, of the match. Now, what a time to get one at 8-7 and
hill,
has a shot at the one. He just broke. He's got a nice shot at the one. And this is the last round of day 2, and day 3 is our final day of the U.S. Open 10 ball tomorrow. And if Scott Woodward goes on to win here, he probably would want the matches to keep going today because he's been on a tear, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we get started tomorrow at noon.
Okay, an awful kiss on the cue ball. It's going to come to rest on the end rail. He's going to get a shot, but it's a tough one. I think position's fairly natural as far as when he runs into the 2, the speed he wants to shoot the 1 is okay.
Yeah, 2 ball's going to carry over towards that pocket.
Meaning,
He
doesn't have to hit it too easy and he doesn't have to hit it too hard. It's just right in that nice medium realm, and it still holds the 2 up for position, which is kind of what you want.
Just want to make sure you make the ball.
Yeah.
And ouch.
Always surprised when the guys miss balls. It doesn't matter the degree of difficulty, but that one, the way things have gone since that ball in hand miss, it kind of didn't shock me so much.
And even so, those long shots like that, and the cue ball was just didn't lay real well.
That's why we call them tough, because they are missable.
They're missable shots, and they get missed, apparently.
Dennis put a lot of speed on that because he was pretty sure he was going to run into the 10. Didn't want to get pinned back there behind something.
Probably come right down towards the 6 ball here. About no further than the side pocket, probably.
Yeah, and he's really wanting to see if I have to play from distance, where's the distance that I like that gets me a little more naturally towards the 3, from the 3 to the 4.
Oh, he's gonna go 2 rails to the left.
He's trying to get nice on it.
Yeah.
Oh. He's laughed a little bit there. He's like, oh, what was that? Oh, he miscued. Okay. Because it sure looked like he was trying to put some power on it.
It looked like he was trying to go 2 rails out of the corner there and come towards the 6. Instead of coming straight down the rail.
I think he was just trying to get a little more a little closer to the 3 mainly, but laughed it off with a miscue there. And he's got to make a decision here. He could level out and come 1 rail into the 10, maybe hold position that way. I think he'll probably open it up, come around the 5 somehow.
You know, for many players, this is a real tough shot. For Dennis, it's a tough shot. But I don't know. This is a tough shot.
Yeah.
Getting on that 4 ball.
What he'd like to do, though, is instead of pulling tightly around the 5-10, he'd like to go around the 5-10 and then in between the 6-9, I think, like with a high left.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think, anyways, because if he digs on it to wrap the cue ball around, I think it's going to be too much speed to hold for the 4, even on the short side of it. I think the cue ball is going to get away from him. I wouldn't be surprised if he just went with a high ball here and went into the fat side of the 10 with the cue ball. Okay, he's digging on the cue ball. So, tendency here is to hit it thick if you miss. Oh, he hit it great. Now, he's still going to be some long distance from the 4, but that's okay.
Yeah, he doesn't mind distance. As long as he's not on the rail, he's good there.
Yeah, but just to hold it that close to the 4 was pretty impressive by my standards, I think. From that much distance to get the cut on the 3 still and be able to pull the cue ball tight enough to hold it that close to the 4, Dennis Orcollo's in stroke, ladies and gentlemen. Not only is he a super talent, he's a guy that when he's hungry, working through the rack, maybe no one does it better. Just, you know, from out, you know, when people say, oh man, he's getting out from everywhere, that's the kind of guy that can do that.
And he does. He does it better than anybody. If not, at worst, as good as anybody.
Right, you know. But, you know, when you get on a tight table where the balls aren't breaking so well, you get all these tricky outs, you know, like Rubik's Cube kind of things. Dennis, when he was in some action matches where you find those types of tables, he just really excels. Something else to watch, really. Now 5-1. Looks like it's
Dennis won the first two.
And Jeffrey's going to take a timeout.
Jeffrey found a game, and then Dennis has won 3 since.
We'll be right back.
We're back, folks. Dennis is back to break the balls, leading Jeff DeLuna 5-1.
Yeah, and he's had some mishaps on the break. A scratch that was his fault, and jumping off the table certainly his fault. See if he gets that. See, the 4 got in though, and he's going to have a nice starter on the 1, and the 2 is going to be playable off the 9. So what looked like trouble at first off the break now has turned into something pretty sweet. Real natural to come across and play the 2 off the 9. You can see the 3. So not really many problems here. He's got to ease this one in a little bit. Yeah, and that's another thing is don't ease this too much and allow a little bit of a skid may happen, meaning you can handle a little bit of a cut on the 2. Make sure you hit the 1 with a little more speed. And he was fine the whole way.
Playing the 2 ball off the 9 ball. Just moving up a little bit for the 3.
I would probably roll this myself.
Yeah.
I don't want as much angle on the 3. Least amount of angle as possible. Now the 6. Oh, look at the 9 move into position and cover up the 6 for both those corners. So this will be interesting and really kind of tough. I mean, with the 7 there, the 8 there, it's hard to go forward off the 5 ball. It's hard to come backwards off the 5.
Can he just bump the 6 there? And
yeah, but then how's he going to get back? I mean, it's not easy to get back with the 8 being there. You can't go forward off the 5.
Oh, gotcha.
With the 7 being there, it's hard to draw 1 rail off the 5. So really that 9 getting in that position there made a huge difference. I think all right, he's going to bump it like you said, but where's he bumping it to? Oh, look at that. How sweet was that little nudge just to barely open it, and now he can still come across and take a little distance on the 6. Can't go forward, but he can come across. Pretty clever shot there.
That's why he's who he is.
And that's what I mean as far as earlier I said getting out from places a lot of people don't get out from. Not only because of the talent level, I mean, make balls and move the cue ball kind of how he wants, but just his thought process through situations.
Just don't draw it to the side pocket.
Yeah.
Nor hang up the 5. Kind of nice he got on the 6, though. And there's a shot you don't really expect to hang up, especially with newer cloth.
Yeah, just caught it a touch heavy. No real problems here. I wonder why Jeffrey's maybe regrouping, but you just pull this ball to the rail where you're standing here. No reason to play it any other way. Oh, wow. He was trying to draw straight out. Really lucky there. He caught the 8 and still escaped. Pretty hard to do, right? Why didn't he just cut the 5s hanging, just cheat the hole and go to the low rail and draw it with low right back to the rail where he was standing? And
that's
where
that's
the
what I think
he's
he
in
was
now.
doing. That's what I thought he was doing, just drawing the ball straight off the ball to the rail.
Well, he was trying that, but I'm saying why didn't he cheat it just to get the cue ball to the rail quicker and use 2 rails? That's going to be a little much, and he better hope it's good speed. He's all right.
That's good. He can't decide whether to play short shape or draw it to the rail and back out for the 8.
Yeah. Well, I don't think short shape's too much of an option. I think he's questioning, can I get to that rail and back out before the side pocket? Otherwise, he'll amp up and force this ball down table and back up. But I think he's got plenty of room to draw to the rail and back over.
Especially with the, he's shown us the stroke.
Yeah.
He does that very well.
Super close to the 7.
Yeah.
So he should be very accurate, meaning shooting the 7 to the fat side of the side pocket. must be more angle here than we thought. Okay, he went past. You might have missed it, George, but he went past the side pocket, put like a
and came back up.
Stream draw.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I was checking out the bracket. Well, from here, it's just a matter of pocketing this ball and executing the last 2 shots. And this stops the bleeding. He lost 3 games in a row. And he's able to get that one, and we'll have the break. So he can close the gap pretty quick here and get to 3. Still down a break. But he has to execute.
And he's broke the balls. He's broke the balls well. He's broke dry once, I believe. But mainly got that cross corner bank or a choice on a cross corner bank on the one a couple times. So I expect him to be very successful in the break as far as making balls, and he's been great with the cue ball, meaning it's been right in the center. There's not been any question marks about that.
We've got Danny Olson and Corey Duell finishing in 7th and 8th place. Now I was trying to line out the guys that finished 9th through 12th. Billy Thorpe being one of them. Kevin Chang, another. Alex Pagulayan, the other.
Okay. Oh, cue ball got a bad kiss. The 1 went in, and he's got a shot on the 2.
And Ruslan Chernohov, the 4th, finishing 9th through 12th.
He's got to pay attention to the cue ball coming across. Definitely needs to be off the rail. And okay, and that's going to be all right. I think he can guide just by the 7 and the 8. Oh, he's coming back that way. Okay.
Well, I don't know that I like coming back that way. I'm not about to question Jeffrey.
Yeah, and it's real natural. But again, if you flinch at all, the line of the cue ball you lose, and maybe the speed, he could easily go 1 rail by the 7 and 8, come down for the left side of the 4. But that's too much. See, he's picking a route that requires execution whenever you maybe had other routes that didn't require much execution.
Sure, I like the high English shot just past the 8 on the upper side there.
It's real natural high ball. And
yeah. It was just a matter of beating the 7 because you have the line for the 8.
Yeah, and you have a lot of room for error. You can see the 9 and 5 that kind of covered up that side of the 4. So
he's kicking it now.
As much as we talk about a guy like Jeffrey's talent, you got to wrap some decisions along with it. You got to put them both together.
You know, sometimes, and when I speak of stuff like this, it's because I feel it, and when I feel that other people are along the same lines. Sometimes you're playing good enough that you think you can put the ball exactly where you need to, like he did right there. And at times, with the adrenaline going and things not going your way, you can find yourself in trouble.
Well, and it's that's all perspective. I think it depends on how you look at things. And for a lot of us pool players, at least myself and several I know, that it's almost like, you know, you always want to win, right?
Sure.
But playing well is really the standard you're trying to keep yourself at. So if you think of it long term, as far as that's concerned, it's almost like when making decisions. You stick to a long-term way to play things. Things will pop up all the time like that. Oh, I can pull this back and shoot this little gap right here. But if you realize it's pretty standard to go forward in that position, no matter what it looks like, well, then you realize you make long-term decisions the same way, and you get a lot of the same outcomes. And really, when it comes to that kind of decision, he had to execute there. And if he didn't execute, there was a lot of trouble.
Exactly.
And to where the other one really didn't offer much trouble, and the execution was very easy.
Back to, I guess, you use this analogy in one pocket quite a bit, risk reward on a shot.
Yeah, value.
Yeah, the value. And it just, the risk was higher than the reward.
Yeah, and it came at you know, it's not over with, but coming at a crucial time after it looks like he's got an opportunity to get back in the match.
It's called for John Lehman.
Not sure what the issue is, and
He's going to jump the 10
camera,
and
maybe
try to.
a spectator using maybe a flash or some type of something in the distance. He's got to land on top of this one, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He's got to come down right past the 10, and he could easily just nibble the 10 on top.
Well, he's going to give up a
Cue
shot.
ball.
Might corner hook him.
That'd be cruel.
It's kind of cool how it landed on the 4 and went to the
back
left of the 5 and then started drawing and got all the way back up in the corner. But talk about bread and butter. Leveling out long distance for Dennis with just a straight high ball is just one of his best shots. And of course, he may not make it now that I brought it up, but
I think he makes this, goes by the 8, and he's going to be perfect. No,
he overcut it.
Both. I thought he'd be on the outside of that 8 ball. Well, Jeffrey's jump shot worked out. He gave him distance and came back to the table. And let me go over some of those players while Jeffrey cleans up here, because it looks like he's in a good position to take care of these 5 balls. Coming straight back for the 7, probably get back to where his hand is. And then maneuver from there. But in 7th place so far, we have Danny Olson. 8th place is 7th, 8th is Danny Olson and Corey Duell. 9th through 12th is Billy Thorpe, Kevin Chang, Alex Pagaline, and Ruslan Chernohov. There's 6 players left. These 2 are 2 of 3 left on the winner's side. But after this match, one of them will no longer be on the winner's side. The other one, the winner, will be playing for the hot seat in the hot seat match at noon tomorrow, I believe. Because we'll have the hot seat match at noon and a loser, a one-loss side match at the same time.
Well, now 5-3 and some pressure applied from Jeffrey DeLuna.
Well, at 10? Tomorrow matches, it looks like it's going to be Skylar Woodward versus Torsten Homan and Shane versus the loser of this match here. The winner, of course, of this match will go on to play Marco Tutzer for the hot seat. Eight ball dead center of the pocket.
Hit those much more like he wanted. He's going to get a cut shot on the one that Dennis won't pass up on. Even after missing that ball last game, he's getting right back to business here. Now he's got to figure out a path for the cue ball. I mean, he may play safe. I mean, but normally Dennis is going to attack with an open shot. Now he wishes the 2 was a hair more open, but
I don't see him passing up on this shot. I see him attacking this and coming down between the 7-10 with the cue ball.
On that side of it?
The 6-10, excuse me, wrong side. The lime green one on the left.
Okay, where he's at now.
Yeah, where he's at now. Oh, he's gone right into the corner pocket. Ouch. He went to the left of
just caught the one a little thick.
Yeah.
A little thick, excuse me.
Wow. And this is what Jeffrey needs here, because if he can get out here and then has the break, we could be tied up before Dennis comes back to the table.
Yeah, and he needs to really look at short side probably on the 5. That makes things real easy to get to the center of the table off the 3, to get to the 4 and come one rail back. He'll shoot the 2 and whichever corner or side he prefers, and just gets a one rail. See right there where he's looking now to shoot the 4 and just play short side on the 5. There's nothing wrong with that. And when you talk about short side, it's only 5 or 6 inches from the middle.
Right,
so it's not like extreme short side. It just makes everything a lot easier. Guys will want to, players in general want to avoid that. Like the plague sometimes, really. But
not when it lays right.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes the rack.
Even if that ball was on the diamond, he might be better off on the diamond on the right. He might be better off playing short side.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever now, otherwise you got to involve shooting the 4 and getting the cue ball around the 9 and not hitting the 6 and just a number of things. Okay, he's drawing that a little much. I would have rather had more angle to roll into that position. Now he's got to force the ball a little bit more. Still shouldn't be a problem.
He's left himself pretty thin cut.
Yeah, and that's all from that position on the first ball, really. If he gets more angle on the 3, he never ends up short on the 4, and that's.
Yeah, he got.
And that's just, you know, recognizing that those first little shots, the ones that you consider just hangers.
Uh-oh.
Okay, and he's going to get a cut shot, and he's going to shoot at it, but
unfortunately the 6 ball's in a good place, so it's just pocket the ball and
go up and down the center of the table.
Just hit the head rail and come off of it. Just like
he's
that.
overcut
He's overcut it,
and he may end up getting lucky here. It looks like it, especially if it continues to go. Dennis will 2-rail kick behind this. I don't think he'll try to make this one. I think he got a 2-rail kick to the near the 5. And I think you can hold the ball pretty well too. Is the good part about it. Meaning, I wouldn't doubt if he gets him underneath this 7-10 somehow. Wow,
with the
he's
cue
kicking
ball?
across the table. I can't believe this. This is a very missable kick shot, believe it or not.
That 7 ball's huge.
Yeah, and even it's just one you can misjudge. These are the type, if you can hit with a high ball, it's nice. But when you got to hit center because the 7's in the way, right? You can't hit a high ball 2 rails. Well, you can misjudge it easily. I like this selection, knowing I'm not going to make it. Jeffrey's coming back to the table, but good chance I put him in a bad spot. Oh wow, nice effort there. And just how good does the guy play? He kicked and came across at 1 rail, an even better shot. Oh, he left him a little piece of it? Or is he going to curve here?
He might have to curve it. It looks like he's, from this angle that we're looking at the table, which is the same angle they have at home, it looks like it's in the way.
Well, there's nothing wrong. If you're going to curve at the ball and try and hit the bottom of it. Oh, he can see this. So he's trying to put him behind the 9. Trying to let the 5 bounce up and use the 6 a little bit too. Or a nice shot just to contain him on that. But if he let him see a piece of it, he's got the worst of it, I think, unless he can beat the kiss. Unless he can't beat the kiss, excuse me.
Yeah, this kiss here.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's why you see that little smirk on Dennis's face. He knows that if he goes with a high ball, he's probably going to double kiss the 5.
He's called it. He figures he can beat the kiss.
Well, if he hits down on it, he's got a chance. But if he goes forward with the cue ball, he's got no chance to beat the kiss, I think.
Yeah, he's got to elevate it if he wants to go down on it.
Yeah. Now he's looking at what kind of kick, what can I do producing a kick.
Tough shot right here.
Yes, sir.
Because that kiss is really big. I mean, I don't see him getting out of it. He's called it.
Like I said, you hit downward on it. You can cut it back sometimes a little more, creating a little more cue ball movement. Well, is it going to lock up? It did, and not makeable.
Wow.
Now, I think he'll try to put him behind the 9 ball probably. It's touchy, but I mean, it's just something you got to do, I think.
How does that look coming off the 5 to get behind the 7? Does he have a little bit of angle? And the 5 floats
he's got to cut it away. Yeah, he's got to cut it away.
It's got to come straight back and over. Yeah, nope. Okay.
Now, one thing he may be able to do is play into the 5 with a high ball and let the 10 carry downward and let the 5 come off the 10, maybe to the middle of the table, to the rail and to the middle, and use the 6 as a hook maybe. But I think you just got to leave the 5 there, chip the 5, let the cue ball run behind the 9.
I like behind the 9. I just don't like going so close to that side pocket to get there.
Well, I think he'll apply the right spin, so he should hit a couple inches, 3 or 4 inches shy of it.
And there's the right spin you were talking about, because he
did
got there
real
just well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great shot. Just got to use that talent. There's no real guide there as far as that second rail to hit. Now, this is one you may curve at, just because if you come across the 5 ball, your cue ball's diving towards the 10.
You calling the 10?
Well, you might call it, but you're hitting it slow enough. You're trying to get him behind the 10 here. This is actually landed where you can hit many different pieces of the 5 and still do kind of the same thing, like this. Watch where the cue ball's going behind, trying to go behind the 10. Great shot there. So Jeffrey's still in a good position.
Well, I think I'd be trying to get that cue ball behind the 10 here.
Yeah, and just cut the 5 away.
Just cut the 5 away, sure.
Oh, that's going to be a
got
little
short,
light.
yeah.
Now, the good thing the 6 is there.
He had to threaten the corner pocket a little bit more than what he did.
Yeah, and what do you do here? You jump and maybe call it 2 in the side or something like that? Do you kick long rail and try and cut it in the side?
Might as well. Or even calling it 3 in the corner, but
he's jumping it. And the reason why I like the jump here is call it 3 in the corner or 2 in the side. Yeah. Try and bang it around and send the cue ball forward somehow. And you know, you never know. This 5 might end up on the end rail. Could end up long and straight with the cue ball on the rails. Some good things can happen.
Yeah, you can't hit it hard enough to really go 4 rails, or they can leave the cue ball close to the 7 and jump the ball. I don't think so.
Nah, probably
That's
not.
why I like your
probably
2 side
not.
was a good one.
Just take a chance on it. Hey, and cross corner ain't bad either. If you think you can avoid the kiss here and you can hit it decently accurate, cross corner on the 5 is okay, because now the cue ball is coming back down table and maybe the 5 double banks to the end rail. Maybe it goes right in. I like this probably better than any of them. Now there is a kiss there. He beat that. Now what's the 9 going to do for him? Anything good?
No.
Doesn't appear so.
Maybe elevate him. Nope.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So
it's out of play.
DeLuna now in prime position to cut the deficit down to just 1.
And he'll be breaking.
So kind of grinding his way back from that missed ball in hand early in the match, and then a couple games kind of got punished for it a bit with Dennis with some stellar play. But
yeah, well,
right.
Jeffrey's coming with his part of play too. He's had 2 good safeties in this game, so he's earned what he has here. Yeah, this looks pretty good for Jeffrey. Leaves himself right at the side pocket so he can reach it easy. And no problem to put this away and be at 5-4.
Yeah, and breaking the balls here in game 10.
That's 3 games in a row for Jeff. With the break. So for your schedule tomorrow, guys, be here at noon because hot seat matches at noon on the stream. Followed by the 2 semifinals and then the final at 6. Jeffrey cleaned the ball a little bit. Dennis waiting his turn patiently, arms crossed.
Cue ball perfect.
Yep.
Making many.
Ball's just flying in. Straight in on the 1. Looks like if that 3 goes by the 9, he's in business. If it doesn't, he's gonna have to do just a little work to get onto 3.
Yeah. He can come up the left side of the 8 if he wants and just get past it a little bit, and he'll have the 3 for the lower right, which will offer an angle to come back for the 4. That's if the 3 doesn't pass the 9. And the 3 doesn't go but in one side pocket. He could come down for position on that. They're definitely hitting a high ball.
He's coming over for the 3 on the side.
Is that going to get there? I think it is.
It's got to keep coming a little bit. There it is.
That's enough. Yeah.
Well, this looks good for Jeff here. He goes forward here and should have the cut on the 4 coming back for the 7. After that, those 3 balls, 8, 9, 10, all lay real nice for him. Jeff likes to be close to his work.
Well, he's all right here and come down for the side pocket and have the 8 in the opposite side. You can see the 9 and 10. Oh, well, did he get there? Oh, wow. He was just an inch away from nothing. And why would you put inside? Why don't you just come straight?
Come for the corner,
straight,
play for the corner.
Or play straight down the table. He had plenty of angle to come just one rail.
I thought he'd just play it straight for the corner, stop the ball, and he's there for the 8.
And that I'm not opposed to that at all. But, you know, I'm not always going for the sides. But in that case, if you wanted to, it was definitely okay. But very unnecessary, loaded up inside English.
Well, he's got perfect here. He got back in line.
Yeah, but I mean, literally an inch away from death, like a dead zone, like no good at all on the 7 ball there if he just ends up one inch shorter.
And we are tied at 5. As soon as he pockets his 10 ball. You know what, Jeffrey, when he takes dead aim on the ball, he rarely misses him. Quite the shooter.
And he's fought his way back here to knot this match at 5 games apiece, and a big race to 4 from this point for both these guys.
Yeah, he was down 5-1. He's won 4 games in a row. That's pretty big on the alternate break format.
And Dennis really just missed a long shot on the 2, I believe it was, or
I remember the shot.
Yeah, the 2. It might have been the 4.
I think it was.
It might have been the 4 ball, but it was a big one to go up. I believe 6-2 at the time. It wasn't easy, but one that he usually knocks in.
Those long shots can wear on you after a while.
Oh, and that's
still got it again and pushed it right back into the corner.
Yeah, and that's a bit of unfortunate and Dennis's fault, meaning he let it go that way and it almost scratched on its own. And then once you send it near that side, percentages rise rapidly on the scratch.
There's so many balls going to that side pocket, to the side pockets, or going right by him.
On a big change of events here. Now he's going to have to play some nice position from the 3 to the 4. You can see that. He's looking at, following out 2 rails, and he's surveying the position on the 3 right now is what he's doing. And again, is he going to shoot the 1 and draw the cue ball into position again, or is he going to shoot the 1 and stun over? Or hopefully he follows or stuns, or stuns over, one of the 2. But I think he's going to draw into position on the 2 again. And he could shoot it in the same corner as he's going to shoot the 2 and stun the ball, or he could roll it in the side,
exactly,
which is what I would do.
And roll it to either side.
Right.
But he's just going to come right back with it.
But you're never, in my mind, going to be near as accurate drawing the ball
as following
the ball.
I'm in total agreement.
Not only is your final destination not in your peripheral vision like you would be when you follow the ball. Not saying you're looking at it, but if it's in your peripheral or in your line of sight, you're going to be more accurate probably, and you never miss cue following the ball. You never miss ball in hand, hardly ever following the ball. And that's a policy thing. That's that long-term kind of thing I talked about earlier. Meaning if you have certain set ways of doing things, it's a long-term process where it shows up. It may not show up in this tournament. DeLuna drawing the ball with position on ball in hand, but in the long term, it's going to catch him more than following the ball is.
Yeah. And you know, the one thing I've noticed about, well, when I say Filipino players like Efren, Dennis, Jose Parica,
they follow the ball more.
They follow the ball a lot more and a lot more successfully.
Well, and I think the difference is in the comparison of errors of Filipino players, the equipment that those guys started playing on is very difficult to draw the ball. So they had to learn how to play the racks going more forward. And now Jeffrey more in the era where the equipment and the pool rooms and everything have really come a long ways in the Philippines in the last probably 15, 20 years to where the equipment is more updated and along the lines of the rest of the world.
And he spends a lot of time over here.
And that's why if you're having to punch it, okay, caught the point.
He's going to be okay. I tell you, there's times I've hit a shot like that, and you're behind the point. You might not scratch, but you're behind the point.
Yeah, another hard one to figure. How's this happen?
But it looks like Jeffrey's going to be in the lead here. And breaking.
Oh, yeah. Get there? Oh, my.
He's pretty straight.
Yeah, he's got to draw to the rail and back out, I think. Which, I mean, drawing the ball is not much of an issue for Jeffrey, but.
Well, he's also drawn the ball towards that side pocket. He's not going to miss it by too much. And just drawing in that area, it's scary.
Should be able to cheat it, meaning hit it to the side of the pocket on the 80 he wants. Is he going around? No way.
No, he's coming back. There he goes, just like that. Did it with ease.
And now for 5 in a row to take a 6-5 lead here in our final 4 of the winner's side match.
Wow. What a big turn of events, as you mentioned earlier. Orcollo and Jeffrey De Luna, 2 of the Philippines' finest, battling out to see who's going to play Shane Van Boening on the one-loss side.
Or the loser there will play. The winner will play on the hot seat match.
Right.
Tomorrow at noon, huh?
Matt Tusher. Awaiting to see who he plays in the hot seat match. It'll be one of these 2 gentlemen right here. The loser gets to meet Shane Van Boening, who's on a mission. He wants to do it 4 times in a row. 4 years, 4 consecutive U.S. Open 10-ball wins is what this means to Shane. And these guys want that title for their own, as does anyone still left in the tournament. Skyler, Torsten, Marco.
I'll tell you, Jeffrey's had probably the best cue ball on the break that I've seen in the tournament.
Stops
really sitting
right about
still.
there.
Yeah, sitting
right
still
there.
near the center quite a bit. Now the one's going to hang. Is the 5 going to get in the way? I think he's okay.
He's okay, yeah.
He's sitting in a prime position to get up 2 games now. If our eyes don't fool us, and I don't think they do, 2's very easy to get on. The 3's over the pocket. Not a whole lot to worry about here. Are we still on for a little one pocket after this match, George?
I believe my wife and her sister are coming to pick me up and take me to dinner.
Oh.
I might play you a couple of games.
The steak horse and the boss both.
I'll play you a couple of games.
You didn't have to involve the sister. You could have just said, "My wife's coming to get me." Could have left the sister out.
They wanted to go have dinner
I'm just
tonight.
playing with it.
It's okay. She actually loves to watch me play. I don't know why, but she does.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay, not a whole lot to think about here. I mean, he doesn't want to make a silly mistake, but don't go out of your way. Yeah, just right there is fine. You just come out of the corner and come to the left side of the 6 and up for the 5. If you wanted to come in between the 6 and 8 towards the 5, that's okay as well. It's not really too much of an issue. Yeah, I wouldn't try to force over to get more angle on the 3. I mean, just work with what's in front of you, Jeffrey. I mean, it's not like, it's not like he can't move the cue ball off the 3 from the center of the table.
He likes to move it. I think is he going to try to hold it there?
Well, yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, that's easy.
What he was looking at a second ago was shoving it all the way over to the side rail for what it looks like to me just involving more traffic when you shoot the 3. If you have to go to the right side of the table when you shoot the 3, you're contending with the 8 and 9, maybe getting thin on the 5 one way or another. I think just hold the ball here.
If he holds it, he's better off going from the 3 to the 5.
Yeah, okay.
He's left-handed, so he can reach this easily.
Yeah, and I understand that, but you'll see he's got a 2-rail angle to where he doesn't have position until speed's perfect.
Well,
and then once he has position, he's if he goes past it, things can go wrong.
I like holding it, like you mentioned, because then you just come up on the left side of the 6 instead of coming around it from here.
Like here, if he overhits this, things become a problem.
And he's overhit it a little bit.
Yeah, they become a little funny.
Sure.
So there wasn't really much of a great line to fall into unless you had perfect speed on the cue ball. And guess what? I mean,
this 9-ball makes it tough. Now he might have to play it in the side and go full 3 rails to get on the 6.
I think he's going to cut it. I still would probably cut it in the corner and maybe just come 1 rail into the 8 if I can. But when he shot the 2 couple shots ago, he made the 2 even more missable, having to slam it in and go all the way to the other side with the cue ball. Not one you figure to miss, but. One thing at the pro level is when these players realize that I can't shoot shots trying to avoid things I don't like. Pro level, you may not like something, but you're still supposed to be able to do it. Meaning, you're supposed to be able to cover all bases, basically.
And he was able to execute the side pocket shot with 3-rail shape on the 6. And so now he's worked himself in shape. Yeah, and he may have to go forward here or stop and take a cut. Because if he draws it, he gets a little closer, but it's not really any better, the angle. I think it's a worse angle than being there. I think he brings it back just a hair. Yeah, no reason not to come back a couple inches, right? Yeah. It's pretty much dead straight. He's not going to go towards the 9, so there it is right there. This gives him just a hair sharper angle, but might have been better off just leaving it dead, stopping it. Yeah. Okay, nothing wrong with that. That's one time you might go ahead and let it go to come back for the side because it just makes making that 7-ball at a little higher premium, a little higher percentage, a little better way to shoot it. Well, the way Jeffrey's breaking, he's going to be a contender here. Strong contender. He's won 6 games in a row. Take a 7-5 lead over Dennis Orcollo. And really, Dennis has made very few errors, maybe more errors on the break than anything else. Yeah, he lost that last one on the break, scratch in the side pocket. Lost it towards the side, then it was kind of came away from the side and got kicked back in. Squartucci waiting for the winner of this in the for the hot seat. Skyler and Torsten already scheduled for a match. And Dennis breaking the balls, trailing 5-7.
This is our last match of the evening. We'll start back at 10 a.m. tomorrow and be back on the stream here at noon.
I thought they were going to stream our one pocket match. I don't want to be embarrassed. Thank you very much.
Okay, hit those pretty square, but is anything going to go? The 4-railer hung up, and the 9's going to get out of the way. So
5.
So Jeffrey with a big decision here. Do I go offensive? I like it myself. Just come one rail right into the 4. If you get unlucky and scratch off the 4 or something, it's, hey, it happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
He could try to delicately knock the 1 up and leave the cue ball behind the 2.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and it's a
touchy
very
shot.
delicate shot.
Yeah,
it's very delicate.
I like him just
going for it.
Yeah,
I do
mean,
too.
This is one you,
especially with the
no,
2 ball
ducking.
being there.
He's playing safe. He wouldn't be putting right English on it if he wasn't playing the safety, and
he played it well.
He made it look like the right shot, probably.
Yep. That inside English was everything he wanted for that shot. One rail kick, trying to get it back towards the side pocket. Cutting it thin on the left. Tough shot. He's got such a small target area.
Yeah, and there's a big scratch right there.
And he's come out of it okay, but.
Yeah. Does he bank at this? 2-way? I think so with
Look
the
where
5
the 5
there.
is, yeah.
Now, he doesn't want to make the 5. He's got to be real clear cut that you want to put speed on this. That way you hold the angle on it. And I think he should shoot at it myself.
Well, it's a good 2-way because if he can stop the cue ball right there and bank it, he's got a shot at the 2, and now there's cover.
Yeah, and getting back at the 3 isn't so easy, but I still like the shot, I think. He passed on a thin cut a second ago, though. And we could see why, because the safety was pretty nice. I think he called the 1.
The 1 or the 5?
Well, I guess if you thought you might make the 5, even though you're playing safe, you would call it just because you don't want your opponent to have the choice. He's not going to give it back to you if it's in a nice position.
Well, if you hold the cue ball there, he's going to give it back to you if you make the wrong ball, because there's going to be balls in the way. He must have called the 5 shooting it like that. But see how he played it 2 ways?
He did real well here.
Yeah, it's a kick shot.
Yeah, but with the 8 having it covered, covered up a little bit.
Where you kick him to.
Oh, he can kick to the side rail and hit the 1. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. Now he can maybe make the 5 with the cue ball. He's got to hit it with a high ball and a lot of speed to make it deflect off the 1 a little bit. Oh, he fouled.
First.
And things have kind of, from 4-1, amazingly, have gone just way sideways for Dennis. Now we'll see if he tries to get close to his work on the 3 again. Me, myself, I just get in between, shoot the 1, get in between the 4-9 for the little cut on the 3 and come back up for the 4. There's no advantage in getting on the bottom rail on the 3, I think, especially with the 8 being there. Right?
No, none.
Yeah.
I'd like to have the cue ball, after I shoot the 2, I'd like to have the cue ball in the vicinity of where the 1 ball is.
Exactly, on that line there. And then you just come straight up the table towards the 4 if you want to play for the corner or the side. That's kind of up to you. Don't overthink it. I'm not sure he realizes the bottom rail isn't that great either. Like the center of the table is really, yeah, exactly, Jeffrey. Exactly.
There you go.
No reason to want to get any better than that.
And he's, all he has to do is just roll past the 1 ball just a little bit. He wants to go all the way over there. That tells me he's going to go 2 rails to get to that position.
To that center, yeah. And that's okay. That's a little more of a preference thing. That's okay there. I mean, you should easily get past the 9, yeah.
Instead of just rolling it past the 4 1 rail.
Right.
Just be sure you come past the 4.
And make sure you can reach this. And
that's exactly what he's doing, probably.
yeah, and he doesn't have to draw it at all. He just kind of hits it with a right English.
Middle of the ball right. I call that center right, and
Yeah.
people tell me, is it right or center?
Yeah.
I'm talking center of the ball with right English.
Right. When
Yeah,
you're talking
that's
about the vertical dial,
Sure.
it's center, and on the horizontal dial, it's to the right. So.
All right. I'll just tell him, oh, fine, hit it at 3 o'clock. How's that?
Yeah. Okay, that looks pretty good. Going to get a little thinner on the 3 than he probably wanted.
And that's what I did not like about
the two rails,
about the two
right,
rails,
right.
especially on the slick table.
Again, he's okay, though. He should just come
Oh, yeah.
one rail right past the 4 here. This is where you would probably play for the side pocket. Just so you don't have to be so subtle on the cut on the 3. You don't want to baby that cut and let it maybe skid on you or whatever, or pull a little bit. Still got some work, though, because he's got a decision
6
to
to the
make.
7.
Yeah, and how he gets from the 5 to the 6 will make a big decision on how he plays the 7, but be a big part of his decision on how he plays the 7 anyways.
I like coming in line with the 9, just to the left of it. Then you just stun the ball over to the right side for the 7.
Okay, well, he's drawn over for that
And he's
2 rail
behind.
angle again, though. And this 2 rail angle has got to have really good speed coming.
Well, this isn't line shape. He's going across the line he wants to be on.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe that would. I don't know. Maybe
Does it
he's
go
gonna,
by the 10?
Maybe he's going to fool us in some capacity.
No, he's going to come. He's going to come over.
And then, but the speed's got to be really nice.
He found the speed. In fact, he's gotten.
But only to get a little funny. A little bit. I mean, you know.
Actually, if he goes by that a little more, he's better off to be able to get on the 7.
Right, and remember, he needs an angle on the 7 to get to the 8. Okay, you can't just say straight in's okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Very, very non-conventional patterns, you might say.
It requires very accurate cue ball movement.
Well, and he acted like that was something that shouldn't have happened, but I'll tell you.
There was better ways to get where he had to go.
Yeah, and that time he didn't really put much thought into it. He kind of got down and shot the 6 pretty quickly, like it was no problems. And now he's putting himself in a really bad spot kicking. And anytime you got a kick and the ball's just barely past the side, well, those points really come into play. So he's going to call this cross side, I believe, if he kicks across the table. Oh, he's kicking across it that way. I would have kicked the other way, past the side, and bent it back towards the 7. He's spinning.
He wants to hit the bottom side of it and take that cue ball back by the 10.
I get it, but
It's worked out, but Dennis will bank this in all day with position for the 8.
Can he get position on the 8? I mean, like real good position? I mean, that bank tells me he's got to hold the ball right there if he wants to make this bank.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think it's so easy to move the cue ball here.
I first thought he had the angle to go 2 rails underneath the 10.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
Now he's gonna chip the 7 and use the 9?
Either that or come back on the 8. Good old 3-cushion billiard shot, come behind the 8.
Yeah.
Come off the bottom.
I think you can kind of put the 7 near the 9 doing it as well. Good thing about this is, if you know this little shot right here, it's hard to go wrong. Hit the left edge of the 7 and know that you're just going to come 1 rail by the 9. You always get the snooker that way, if you realize it, if you know the shot. It's real simple.
I see the shot. I would have trouble gauging both the 7 ball and the 9 ball.
But just hit it thin and get by the 9. Just don't let the 7 move very much. Is the key to the shot.
I got you there.
Now you're going to leave a rail first of some sort, which could get you beat, but. this shot more than behind the 8. I like the behind the 8, but this is a pretty simple one. You'll notice, see, you always get the snooker. It's a pretty easy shot, right? You recognize that you have the angle to go by the 9. The 9's a huge ball that way.
I understand the shot. Now executing it for me would be the tough part.
Right. Yeah, just getting yourself comfortable with the shot, basically, knowing that I'm just letting the cue ball move, letting the 7 move as minimal as I can let it move, and without just fanning it. But gonna take some time here.
Yeah, he wants to hit it full and maybe check the cue ball there. It probably is gonna be hard to check it. It's gonna slide down towards this corner pocket. I doubt that it scratches though. It could.
Yeah. Well, what a position he was in though to go up 8-5, and would have been breaking to win the match, I believe, right?
Yeah. Oops, he's okay. No, he's not.
No, he's not close to okay here. Then it's not going to take any time.
Well, the fortunate thing for Jeffrey is he can only be punished 1 game because he'll be breaking next.
I think he does break next. There was a lot of time in between there. And I believe that Dennis won the lag.
Yes.
Yeah, because he opened with the break and run out to start the match.
That's the first game he wins in 6 games, Dennis.
And really shouldn't have won that one.
Yeah. This is when you're able to do, something positive, or this is where matches get turned around. Jeffrey let him hang around.
Oh, yeah.
By making that error behind the 9. Ended up behind the 9 ball. Big break coming up here, and he's been breaking the balls good. As noted by the score. Won 6 games in a row. 3 of his breaks and 3 of his opponents. Yep. Second day of the U.S. Open. This is the last match of the night. We've got a couple games left in it, and they're going to be some high-tension games.
Yeah, DeLuna just broke the balls really well. Got to shake off that mistake there, getting snookered on that
9 ball.
Yeah.
He's breathing. This means a lot to him. Boy, he's stopping the cue ball just perfect. I mean, nothing touches it. Puts it in an area where, well, the 8-9. If it wasn't for the 8-9, I would say he'd more than likely out here.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, do you try to break up the 8-9 with the cue ball when you shoot the 3?
If it falls nice, yeah. I think so.
I agree with the 4 ball where it lays.
Yeah, if it falls in a good spot, or even if it's you don't want a big risk, but a little bit of a risk you can handle also, like coming forward here and catching 2 rails.
Bottom rail?
Yeah, maybe 1 rail even.
1 rail? One rail, he may not be stuck behind the balls. 2 rails, he might get stuck behind the balls.
Yeah, and well, you don't want to come 2 rails if I don't think 2 rails is even available actually, but even if you were available 2 rails, you wouldn't want to come lightly.
He's going away from it.
Oh, he's going to stay away from it here.
Yep, he's going to stay away from it. This could hurt.
Well, the thing about with the 4 over, if he gained an angle on the 4 to break out the 8-9, he would have, or with the 7 over the side. Well, that offers a lot of ways to move the cue ball a lot of times.
Well,
so maybe he can get to the back of the 8. Does the 8 go where the 7s land?
Yes, it does. I was going to say if he gets a good angle on there, he could fall on that. But if the speed's not good, he could be in trouble. He's pretty straight here to get that angle to get on the 7-8. Going from the 7 to the 8. He's going to draw all his way back. He just draws his way out of everything, doesn't he?
Well, the draw stroke isn't a bother, that's for sure.
No. And he's overcooked it.
Well,
no,
yeah,
he's
a little bit maybe,
little bit,
but
yeah. Just makes it a little tougher to get back there behind that between the rail and the 8 ball.
I think he can shove this with enough control to still try to get to the backside of that ball, I think. Shove it, and what would be 2 rails, maybe catching the 3rd rail.
And that's exactly what he's done.
Yeah, and still have enough
come
control.
Up too high.
A little bit, and you know, that's the chance you take, but you got to be prepared to cut this one in is all. I mean, you could play safe also behind the 10, but I like him shooting at it. Not easy.
I think he has to shoot it. If that's safe behind the 10, it's awfully touchy.
Yeah, and leave a
very
jump
delicate.
shot.
Yeah, very delicate.
I think he can level out here and go 4 rails for position. I don't think he has to hit it delicate trying to hold 2 rails. I think a straight high ball he can get to the 4th rail, down the table and back up the table and back down rather.
He's taking his time here, and he should. Sometimes you just got to decide and fire, though. Maybe he hasn't decided yet.
Well, I think he's surveying the safety options, but I don't really think of any I like here. There's not an easy one at all.
Here we go. Made it. Look at this cue ball.
Oh, he dodged the scratch.
Look at this cue ball. Wow.
You had to take a chance.
Huge, huge. Those are those shots you talk about. This is the kind of shot that wins tournaments or wins matches. Straight in 10 ball to get on the hill.
And to win what is going to be 7 out of 8 games against Dennis at an alternate break format, pretty hard to do.
Saving grace for Dennis is he's breaking the balls.
So Jeffrey has put himself in a great position. At least gonna get one chance to break the balls to win the match here and get on to the hot seat now. And you gotta like that. You only have one game to break the balls yourself, but you have 2 other games where your opponent has to defend his break.
Right. And here, sees one. This wins him. This puts him on 7. Jeffrey breaks to win the match. Yeah, that'll be it. Because then Dennis will be breaking to get on the hill. If he gets on the hill, no, he's got to steal his break to get on the hill. So. Massaging the 1 ball.
Yeah, it's just the templates are great, don't get me wrong, but they can get worn out a little bit. You can get a bit of inconsistencies at times. Obviously not near as much as a regular triangle, but
Well, Dennis definitely needs a big break here. A solid break. And position he wants to control.
probably as much as anything. They're not tracking tonight. Oh, the 5 got kissed in. Oh, he's on top of the 1. He's on top of the 1 with really no offensive play. So he's going to have to bring the cue ball probably back behind the 9.
Yeah, I like that. And just leave the cue ball up, the 1 ball up on the top rail. Just come short of the,
Yeah, you come short.
The diamond comes short and roll up on the 9.
Dive, yeah, below it a little bit. You could use behind the 10 too as well and bank the 1 over by the 3. That's not land bad. You kind of draw off of the 1 a little bit more for that one, but you do have 2 balls to hook them on. So that kind of makes that one a little more enticing. I think he's still going behind the 9.
And he's found his way there.
Yeah.
Look what he's done.
Oh, no, he's left a gap. He's left a shot.
Oh, wow.
I believe there's a shot there. I couldn't guarantee you there's, well, Jeffrey's shaking his head. Maybe not.
No. There's a jump. Well, even a jump shot's a little tight by the 8.
Yeah.
He's got the jump cue. But I was going to say, look what he's done with this 1 ball. I was thinking about holding it close to where the 6 ball is. He took it all the way across and used the 3 ball and the 8 to come into play.
And I think it was like one of those fighting it kind of shots. If you're trying to hold the 1 up behind that 7 over there, I think you were fighting it. He just went ahead and let it roll out, hit it just a touch thicker on the 1 and let it just go over. Definitely intended.
Interesting looking jump cue there. Different colors. It's awfully tight by that 8 ball. Just got to get it up in the air. Well, he's only jumping half a ball, right?
As far as the 9's concerned.
Yeah, as far as the 9's concerned.
Wow, and he drew it back for position on a 2-10 combination to win this match, it appears. Wowzer. How do you get that much power on that kind of jump shot? Like, I don't see many people be able to draw the ball with the jump cue. Now, back in the day, we did it with the full cue a lot.
Yeah, yes. That was quite a shot.
Yeah, that was pretty gross there.
That was quite a shot. He was elevated too. I mean, he was way up there, almost like a straight up Massey shot.
Well, he's got a decision here because he can cut this 2 in the side and gain position on the 3. So doesn't have to play this 2-10 combination by any means. Now, because he's not straight on the 2-10, he's got to cut it a bit as well.
He's looking at it. Now, if he plays the 210, it looks like he may be able to bring the cue ball behind the 9.
No, he's got to cut it the other way.
Cut the way?
That's why he's got to cut to the top side of the 2, I believe. That's why.
Gotcha, yes.
Yeah, that's why cutting the 2 to the side isn't that bad of a play in my mind also, instead of playing the combination. I think if you play the combination, give it its best shot with ignoring some safety, because you try to move the cue ball. The cue ball's not going to move a ton.
So
you don't have to cut it a ton.
Give it all you got to make the ball.
Yeah.
And then let the chips lay where they might.
Now, the one thing you might think of is the 2 might go off in the side pocket here off the 10. So you may move the cue ball into a little bit off position on the 3 just in case the 2 goes in and you miss the 10, because you're not going to get it back most likely. But I think he'll probably fire this in after that jump shot that shot on the 8 the last game. Oh, he tried to get safe with the 2, with the cue ball.
He didn't do bad. Dennis has a choice here.
Okay, you could put him up on the 7. It looks like that lays real nice to come off the 2 rails and plant him right on the back of the 7. It looks like it anyways. Oh, okay, this is a better shot.
It's going to come
out.
Well,
yeah, that came out a lot. And lucky to get him elevated a little bit. Maybe not. He's going to shoot this 2-3, right? No?
Either that or he's coming around to get back behind the 9.
Yeah, but
that's the 7's in the way.
Yeah, I like him leveling out and trying to roll this 2-3 in and just going past it a little bit.
Yeah, so he's looking at trying to come back.
Yeah,
that's too
I think
sharp.
This is just as tough as the combination myself.
I agree.
Especially still controlling the 2 ball also, because you got to draw off the 2. You can't hit it naturally and run the cue ball. I think he shot at a 210 that was a winner, and I think this one's a winner as well, that being the 3 ball.
The 3 ball? 2-3?
Yeah, the 2 might leak over a little bit, but it ain't going to leak over a ton, I don't think.
He's taking his time.
Well, he hasn't considered the combination at all, I don't believe.
I don't think so.
So he's stuck on chipping this 2 and running the cue ball some type of way. And if he's got to draw off this 2 ball to hit that gap between the 6-7, I don't like it too much, and I think that has to happen.
I don't think he likes it either. That's why he's hesitating and it is taking so much time.
High ball, that's okay. Like, hit before the green 6 and run the cue ball. Okay, that's the shot I liked all along. Now make you a bank to get on to the winner's side final here, Jeffrey.
You banking this on the side?
Yeah, you got position on the 6 on the top rail. I mean, I don't see any other reason why not to. You could play safe, I guess.
Little soft bank?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like to give it a real good chance to win. I understand you're playing a bit of a 2-way here, but I think the bit of a 2-way is still there with the medium speed on the bank. I mean, you could have hit the point, come back on you, but sure like to give it a good chance of going in.
He's afraid of bumping that 7 and sliding into the corner.
Well, just shove it forward. Just shove the cue ball forward to the rail. Jeffrey takes a lot of time on some things that, I know he's trying to get himself settled, but I think sometimes that extra time on something that's really kind of looking you in the face can really make you figure out ways to hit it incorrectly.
Right, which is brings up a question and a good point. He's made the ball and ended up perfect. Well,
he got lucky not to get corner hooked.
Yeah. and he's got enough angle to come off for the 7. But shot clock. I've heard people say here and there that the shot clock can actually help you because you're not overthinking things when you shoot.
You know, I don't think necessarily any of these guys are the types, but I know types that are going to figure out a way to lose. I hate to say it in such a demeaning manner, and I don't mean it in a harmful way, but we've all kind of know those types of people or those players, not really people, but their games sometimes do that. And when there's a shot clock, I totally agree. Sometimes it'll save a person like that.
Sure.
You know, at this level here, it's very few and far between that those words really carry and mean something. But
I think once he pockets this 8-ball, Dennis might just concede, or will he let him finish it out?
Well, it may depend on where the cue ball gets, but
yeah. He's going to get good on this 9.
Well, he came back and got on the rail straight in, so I don't know about how good that is.
No.
And that's what I'm wondering. Well,
I was thinking he'd have real good shape on this. I never saw him.
This is like the worst.
Saw him get back there.
Besides being snookered.
This breathes a little bit of hope into Dennis.
Well, I would roll this in anyways and take the cut in the side. Why would you try to miss this 9-ball? At least give yourself a chance to win. You roll the 9 in, you can bank the 10 if you like, cut the 10 if you like. You can play safe on the 10 if you like. But if you elevate here, I think you're making this 50-50 on the 9. Wow. Well, I guess it's somewhat like a jump shot for Jeffrey. Yeah.
It's gonna work out for him.
Heck if it is. This ain't gonna work out for anything but maybe losing the match. Dennis is going to cut this in. And if he doesn't cut it in, he's going to bank it in. Oh, this was, again.
Well, what I meant by working out is he didn't leave an easy one.
Yeah,
he didn't leave an easy shot.
It's not a throw-in, but.
Yeah. But Dennis should.
And how do you not level the cue and roll the 9 and take the shot on the 10? Okay, that's going to be pretty good speed, it looks like. And Dennis Orcollo just. Going to live to play another game here on the winner's side in the U.S. Open 10-ball.
Wow. I never thought I'd see Jeffrey put that ball on the rail and have to elevate or even want to elevate. But here he is breaking for the match. He's broken the balls real good. But this is the last one. The hardest games to win are the first and the last. But like Jeremy's been saying, at this level, that's not quite as true.
Well, yeah, that's it. And
they get fired up for the last and the first.
Yeah, well, the first leads to that last for these kinds, and sometimes it leads it to them quickly. But man, you know, we're here to play devil's advocate. And I love all these players, but just really alarming a couple of decisions. But he's broke the ball so well. It's almost like we talked about with Tyler Steyer, occasionally make a mistake, and then that incredible break shot you own can make up for it.
Well, here's a good time for it to make up, because he can win the match with this break.
Well, one thing about the elevating on the 9 is he already hit the 8 poorly, like he didn't want to, and don't complicate more. Let's just roll the 9 in and take a cut shot on the 10. Oh.
He's okay.
Yeah,
and Jeffrey's one of the few players.
I don't think did he make one?
5? Nope.
No, I don't think so.
Open.
So.
Well.
Dennis is probably not going to waste much time trying to run out here. Cut the one in the side. Go 3 rails for the
Also,
carom on the
yeah.
on the 2-6 or the 2-7 rather.
Doesn't the 2 ball go by the 7?
Oh, maybe it just. I thought at first glance it didn't.
Oh, maybe it doesn't.
Either way, he's going to be playing offensive at it, one way or another. Okay, that's got to go a long ways. Because if it does go, I don't think it's got an entire pocket. One good thing is the 3 goes in the side as well. So he can roll past here and get for the 3 in the side. He may have to take a little longer shot on the 4, but that's just part of it. But that ball slowed down a lot, right? Considering when he first released the cue ball on the 1, I thought it was going to be plenty to get around much fuller on the 2.
Yeah, it bit at the end there.
Now is he going to just slow creep this by the 7 and hold for the 3 in that lower left corner?
The more I look at it, the more I think it does not go.
Wow, really?
And the more I'm wrong. He held it nicely for the 3 ball.
Funny little shot here. You'd like to think, well, I just draw 1 rail into the back of this, what is it, the 7 there or something, and everything should be okay, but man, you hit that 7 just right, it stays right in your way.
If you hit that 5 ball full, the cue ball slides up towards the 4, coming off the rail.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, if you try to come between the 5 and the 8 with the cue ball, more than likely you catch the 5 and you slide right up. And it won't be traveling real fast, but Dennis hits.
He's doing that.
A nice touch.
He's going into something here. He's not going back and forth. Yeah, nice shot. Very controlled.
There's that little touch of outside here to come over for the 5.
Yeah,
just 1 rail.
Pretty comfortable just throwing the ball here. It's an easy way to play on this slick table. Now some will stay away from it. I understand. Wants to.
1 less rotation on that ball, he would have been perfect. Well, he's worked himself to where he's in complete control. Wow. Stun. Stop. Come off the rail a little bit, and he's right on the 10.
And hill with Dennis breaking.
A couple of big mistakes by Jeffrey DeLuna.
Huge ones. Huge mistakes.
Well, Dennis won 5 out of 6 games to start it off, and then Jeffrey came back with 6 games of his own. And then they traded punches, and Dennis got the last 2. And we're tied at 8. Yes.
What is that?
Dennis won the first 2 games. Jeff won 1. Dennis won 3. Jeffrey won 6 in a row. That was Alex Pagulayan came over to look at the monitor.
Well, he opened the match with a break and run, and certainly like to finish the match with one as well.
That's a good point. I forgot all about that. He did. He opened it up with a real nice break and run. I mean, it was a solid break. It just looked good from the get-go. No, actually, it was a tough shot on the 1 to start with. he had a look at the one, but it was a little bit of a tough shot, and he fired it in and it just ran out. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Little fist pump. Fist bump, excuse me.
Yeah, we've had a few hill matches here on this table today.
They ended up 9-7 and 9-7 with the Hill, Corey and Torsten. Last time he broke the balls, or one of the times he broke the balls, he jumped it off the table. Now it's stopped. Ball's in. Got a shot on the 1. Elevated on the 4.
It's all right, though. He's thin enough. I think he can get. I don't know. This is
No,
funny.
Yep.
This is funny going back and forth on the from the 1 to the 2.
Yeah, I will say things haven't come real easy for Dennis since the first part of the rack, the first part of the match.
Yeah. May call. He may bank it. May bank this. Don't think so, but he's not. He'll bank it before he really threatens scratching with the cue ball somewhere or something like that. Now the one thing is he wouldn't mind hitting down on it. Maybe he comes 1, 2 rails for the 2 in the same pocket. Maybe 3 rails, something like that.
Well, he's called it in the corner. I think he pointed at the.
Yeah, he's cutting it. He's cutting it. So far, anyway, that's what he's called. Really, let's see if he can gain position here. I think this is very, very tough.
This is a tough shot. He's going to be real close to that 4.
Yeah, I think he may end up on top of the 2 if he tries to go back and forth. Or a little steep on it anyways. Maybe not on top of it, but. Oh, he hit it great. And he's going to creep into a nice position on the 2, and I don't expect anything to happen badly for Dennis from here. Yeah, Jeffrey's going to be
in line here.
Going to be a little bit ill about losing this match, and I understand it. But you just can't let any of these guys, especially a guy like Dennis or Orcollo, stick around by some unforced errors. Got kind of straight here. Got kind of straight from nowhere here. Not taking much time, so he's not too worried, meaning he's going to pinch behind it for the 7 on the opposite side.
Stop it for the 8. Well, he's got a little bit of angle to run towards the 8.
Yeah, just punch towards the 8. There's not a problem.
I thought he was straight in.
The 9's real accessible, so meaning if you have options on the 9, there's not a whole lot of things that can go terribly wrong. I'll talk about a ball being conceded. This 10 might be conceded here in just a moment with a little frustration.
Great match.
All right.
Jeffrey DeLuna will meet Shane Van Boning tomorrow. Dennis will be playing Marco Tutzer. And see you guys tomorrow at noon. Jeremy Jones and George THS signing off. Say goodnight, Jeremy.
Yeah, enjoyed it, George. And thanks, everyone. We'll see you noon Pacific tomorrow. Day 3 in the finals.